Hi, I'm Emily Taylor with Collage Quilter. This is an update about the ABC quilt that I'm working on. This week, I want to show you what I finished. I is for ice cream, and I just finished the Q is for quail. I also quilted a few of the blocks. So I've quilted the J is for jellyfish, and I quilted and put together the O, the owl block, and the pumpkin block, and I'm doing a quilt as you go method. So there are a couple different methods for doing quilt as you go, and I've been kind of experimenting, deciding which way I want to go. So I think I've made my decision about that. So next week, I will do a demonstration, a tutorial about the quilt as you go method that I am going to use for this quilt. And today, I'm going to do a demonstration about quilting. So I have my little my little quail quilt sandwich ready to go. And I'm gonna head over to my machine and demonstrate how to do this. So I'll see you over there. All right, so I've selected the thread that I'm going to use, and you don't have to change your thread color. It's just something I like to do. Doing these blocks is one by one. It's really, really fun for me to just get kind of detailed and make them very pretty. So anyway, the thread that I have selected, these colors, they're all available on my website, and maybe we can list that um, on this video, which colors I've used. But the other thing that I want to mention, they're all 100% polyester 40 weight threads. And the reason I choose to work with polyester is it's much stronger than 100% cotton thread. So we're less likely to break thread as I'm quilting through the collage. Now, prior to making this little quilt sandwich, what I've done is I pressed and steamed the collage and the Q to the background block, steamed it on both sides. And then I went ahead and made my quilt sandwich. And I'll talk more about this next week, but you can see that I've got um, my batting is 1 inch smaller than the top of the block. And then the backing fabric is the same size as the front. So the other thing that I want to mention also is the needle that I have. I put on a brand new needle, and this is a Schmetz non-stick needle. It's really great for going through adhesive. One more thing I always do when I change my bobbin thread, like I just did, um, be sure to oil your machine. So before getting started on any big quilting project, oil your machine, put on a new needle. We sell that needle on Collage Quilter as well, and then steam and press your the top block. Um, so now I'm ready to get started. And also, I want to mention that I've lowered the stitches per inch to 9 versus the default, which is 10 stitches per inch. I've also lowered the thread tension just slightly, so everything when I'm quilting through collage, so that really helps. So let's get started. So I'm using my Bernina Q16, which is a sit-down long arm machine. You can also quilt on your domestic machine, and if you do that, you can just do straight line stitching, or if you have a stitch regulator foot, you can add that so that you can do free motion quilting. So I'm going to just demonstrate how I use my machine to do free motion quilting. So I generally will kind of look at the motif, and for this one, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is a bird. I'm going to mimic feathers. Now I'm going to change the thread color to this pretty blue color. That matches really well. Okay, so now I'm going to get ready to quilt the background. I've just quilted the collage, and I'm going to adjust the settings on my machine just a little bit so that they're back to the normal default settings of 10 stitches per inch, and the thread tension is back up to the default setting. And I've changed my thread color again to cream so that it just kind of blends in. I'm just going to do an all over meander stitch like I did on the queue, and that meander stitch is super helpful. It's a really good idea to practice that. And one thing I didn't mention that you probably have noticed is obviously I started right in the middle of the quilt, and I also started on the collage. So those are also some tips. Generally, when we're working on a machine like this, we want to make sure that we start in the center and we go out. That will prevent any bubbles from happening. And I always like to pull my thread up from the back side. That makes it really tidy for me when I get to the back. I have less threads to cut. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm going to mention this right now, is I am leaving about a 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'm not quilting all the way to the edge. I'm stopping it about right here. And I do have some tiger tape or washi tape that I've been putting on my blocks, especially in the corners, to kind of help me remember that I need to stop at about right here. All right, now the final thing is that I'm going to do the corners. So I'm going to move this over here and stick it about right there so I don't forget to not go to the edge. I'm also going to change my foot to a ruler foot. So I'm just going to do vertical lines here. All right, done with that block. So it's quilted, it's ready to hang tight until I get the blocks that are next to it finished, and then we'll join them together. So please subscribe to this channel if this was helpful, and I'll see you again next week.